the town of Pinehurst, somewhere in New England. There is a large southern part of the township that is farmland and agriculture. There are large mechanical machines that crawl their way through the lined planted crops, plucking things out of the ground. Some trail behind, following the larger machines, tending to the torn up and recultivated earth. We see a small farmstead, a home. There are pieces of half-built or half-dismantled machinery strewn about the property. Something that resembles a cross between a combine harvester and a large metallic spider sits rusting and overgrown as a German Shepherd with large off-road wheels suspending its hind legs emerges from the corpse of this rusty old walker and trundles across to an old man sipping on his cup of morning coffee or tea, something, we're not sure, glancing over at a black Buick LeSabre parked near a nearby house. We see some suited individuals speaking to some farmers and their farmhands. The gentleman sipping his coffee hears his dog run/roll up to him and give a bark, and he looks down at the dog and nods. And we see the back panel of the Buick LeSabre suddenly spark and fizz out and pop off as a large plume of smoke erupts out, and the suited agents rush to their car to figure out what's going on as the old gentleman grins a sly grin and stands up and heads back in towards his house. We head over the laneway bridge towards a set of houses a few blocks away from the base of Silver Peak Mountain. A gentleman in a white coat hurriedly gets out of a car and rushes towards his garage. He runs around the corner and clasps his hands to his head as the main garage door buckles and explodes out as a torrent of water rushes out with various pieces of machinery, computer parts, workshop paraphernalia falls out onto his driveway. As he runs through, sloshing through the water to try and salvage what he can, we see a clandestine figure darting into the woods, away from whatever has just happened. The center of Pinehurst, the main city, is awash with festivity as the town gets ready for the annual Silver Peak Hiking Challenge, a seasonal event with performances, food stalls. We see a number of young families, we see tourists, we see locals laughing, listening to music. A few children run past. One of them has an armful of hot dogs, and his friends chase after him. We see a number of tourists and locals in the foothills of the Silver Peak mountain range, suiting up, getting ready for the festivities begin to choose some hiking trails to venture across the mountain. And as we glide past them, we see 3 young children on BMXs hurtling towards a overgrown track that leads towards an old campground. Not far from them, just leaving the outskirts of town, heading on the main road towards Silver Peak Mountain, we see a nondescript Bedford van. The van itself slides around a corner In the front of the van, we see two figures, a man and a woman. The man is a very handsome-looking Snake Plissken-like character, and the woman seated beside has a largely robotic body, save for one arm and the top of her torso and her head. She looks a lot like a young Meryl Streep. They trundle towards as a dark-haired, almost Sandman-looking young person holds onto the seats in the back as they bounce and rattle their way towards the mountain. Now, when we left off, the group of you had discovered who or what was involved in the creation of Mr. Watcher and how he was brought about in this town. You learned that he was given a directive to create more beings like him, and he was involved in working inside some sort of laboratory. Milton recognized the owner of this laboratory as Mr. Thompson, a scientist who was always very cagey about his previous work. Mr. Thompson confronted Mr. Watcher, and there was an altercation inside the lab, and it looked like Mr. Watcher was going to cause Mr. Thompson some grievous bodily harm. The group of you rushed out to try and stop any overt violence from happening, and you noticed that one of the suited agents arrived, known as Subject Zero, and they held aloft a cylindrical device, not unlike the device you found originally in the woods all those years ago. They pressed some sort of activation button, and it seemed to make Mr. Watcher docile for a moment. You managed to disorient Subject Zero and Mr. Thompson enough to be able to grab your friends and get the heck out of Dodge. You managed to reconvene at your hideout. You made plans about how you were going to move forward and deal with the current challenge ahead of you. You learned from Harmony and Watcher a number of things about their origin, but also about why they are the way they are. Milton realized that there was an opportunity for him to use his own personal computing machine to help with this challenge, and so you concocted a plan to stealth into Milton's house. You weren't sure who would be around, so you sent Jack to try and run interference, and Jack encountered Tiffany, who seemed to be the only one home. Tiffany told Jack that Milton's parents were out at the festival, and Jack did her absolute best to keep Tiffany occupied. It was a roaring success, and there is the high possibility that Tiffany thinks Jack is pretty darn cool. Milton and Ruby managed to get the computing machine. Also, we should... April. I'm going to keep doing this, aren't I? Ruby, April, Ruby.
Every episode.
Every single episode. April, thank you, Ruby. April and Milton grabbed the machine and headed back to the hideout. It's just my brain is now like rewiring itself. That's fine. That's fine. I need to remember. Jeremy kept watch over the warehouse, doing his best attempt at brooding in the midday sun. And it's Ruby playing April, playing Ruby. Yes, Jeff. Yes, exactly. And we find ourselves now heading towards the mountain. The gang decided that their best bet was to try and get their new friends back to the mountain to try and get them to reintegrate with the Guardian of Silver Peak. And currently, that's where we are. So let's go with, let's dive in first to Milton, April, and Jack. you three are heading into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're heading to a campground, yes?
Yeah, we're heading to a campground like near the ranger station for Silver Peak Mountain that we can all rendezvous at, because we don't know where on the mountain we need to be going specifically. So like we've got a rendezvous point that we're heading to.
Excellent. Okay, so can I have one of you give me a move check?
Ooh.
3 luck points for Jack from Pat.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Pat.
Amazing.
Thank you, Pat.
Ah, thank you.
I could do a move check. I can
Yeah.
away.
Like to move it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like skid the bike to a halt in front, come off the pathway, stop, get off the bike, retighten the shoelaces on like my high top Converses, and then tie them up around my leg like ballet flat laces. Get ready to go hiking. Okay. 1 success.
Excellent. Cool. So yes, you not only do you come to a slide, you do the Akira slide, the classic slide sideways, like yeah, it's incredible. And you gather your things and start heading to. You know that there's actually there is a side path that will get you to the campground without. It'll let you bypass the main road, so you won't actually encounter anyone if they're doing the walk or doing the hike.
Awesome.
Which is fantastic. And the group of you arrive at the old campground, and it looks like there's no one here for now. Like it's if anyone does do one of the hiking, there is a hiking trail that leads kind of through here. So someone may turn up, but at the moment you have the space to yourself. Is there anything you want to do specifically now that you're here?
Whoa.
Yeah, I think we're good. Milton, do you still have all your stuff? You didn't drop anything?
Nope, I think I have everything. This is really cool. April, have you ever camped here before?
Oh no, I don't like bugs. So no. But it's like really pretty out here.
Do you think Jeremy's camped here before? I bet he has. I bet he's camped here a bunch.
Probably.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack? You probably camping stuff, right?
Yeah. Like in my backyard and up here if I can get away.
Like sleeping in a tent?
Yeah, like a bedroll or like an air bed. Your parents don't go camping?
Not so much. No, I mean, we've done some day hikes, but I've never stayed the night out in the woods.
Yeah, no, Dad always seemed like it was super dangerous. So no.
Well, like, what do you mean super dangerous? Like, what do you mean? Like bears?
Well, there's bears and like people go missing sometimes.
Well, yeah, all those people went
like,
missing.
But if you've got like bear spray and you're like, like calling out to the bear, it's
you can talk to bears.
Like, what do you say?
Oh, whatever you like, really. You just keep talking so that they know you're there, and then and they're there, and they know you're there, and then they don't. What you like don't want to do is like startle them.
Okay.
Yeah. Milton, do you think Tiffany would like camping?
Oh, Tiffany?
Not really.
I think she's really the camping type. But, there's a lot about my big sister that I don't know. She keeps a lot of things to herself. And one time I did see that her journal was laying out, but I was a good little brother and I did not look at it. But I bet if she likes to camp, it's probably in there. But it'd probably just be easier to ask her.
Yeah, of course. I'll ask her. Yeah.
Jack, do you have bear spray? Just in case.
When I left the house this morning, I didn't bring my camping gear.
Oh, so we don't have any bear spray.
No, but we do have Grinch, who could like bark really loudly. So it'll be okay, Milton. It'll be okay.
And we can talk to the bears the whole time.
And we're talking now.
You look over and you see Grinch has like started like sniffing around and is actually is like a makeshift, like a bivouac, like a lean-to made out of like branches and like, you know, some logs, and they've put greenery over it. And he has like wandered over and kind of circled around and just plonked himself down and is like lying down in the shade.
See, Milton, really helpful.
Yeah, that looks comfy.
Grinch is all over it.
I'm gonna turn my Walkman up a little bit and see if I can check in on where Harmony and the van is at. Just like, hey, Harmony, we made it to the campground. Did y'all get out of town okay?
Nice, excellent. There is there's a little bit of static, and you hear Harmony's voice and Mr. Watcher's voice and Jeremy's voice kind of in the midst of static. It's like it sounds like there's a little bit of interference. And we'll cut to the van, which is hurtling down the street. Jeremy, you are in the back, and you see that Mr. Watcher has his eyes straight ahead, and there is you know that the road you're on will take you to like the main, I guess the kind of the parking lot and the like information center at the base of the mountain that kind of leads off to all of the hiking tracks. And you remember that your friends told you which campground they were going to, and you know that eventually you'll have to make a turn off at some point, but you're not quite sure if Mr. Watcher knows that. He just seems to be foot down, heading as far away from the city as he can.
Watcher. Okay, so. Oh, not gonna throw up.
He's just like.
Not gonna throw up. We're gonna. Watcher, we do need to turn because the campground that we're going to, it isn't the main one. We gotta. Could we take the turns just a little less quickly? Having a hard time tracking the horizon.
Yeah. At one point, Mr. Watcher like turns back, like, right, you tell me when we're gonna turn. We're turning now. And he's like, like handbrake. The van is like.
That was okay. So it's just up ahead on this one. Could we crack a window open, please? Get a little fresh air in here. Or is this like struggling with the sliding window on the side?
Yeah, those half panel windows. Yeah, sweet.
Hanging out the window like a duck.
Yeah, you kind of get your head finally out the window to some fresh air, and you can see that the path that the van is on is definitely not designed for a Bedford van traveling at an insane speed. If Watcher continues driving the way he does, you will crash. Like, you know for a fact that you're not sure that Watcher knows where he's going, and you're not sure if he's aware that this van was not built to go off-road this way. So if you leave him to it, there's a good chance you will crash.
Yeah, so I sort of pull my head back in the window and lean forward and just like grab onto his shoulder. Watcher, I need you to understand that if we crash, I splash. Okay? We need to slow down a little bit. This van can't take what we're doing to it right now. Okay? So please just, I'm like trying to squeeze onto like what is clearly, mechanical musculature and skeletal structure, the faux skin. And just trying to get his attention. Just a little bit, please, so that we can all make it to the campground.
Sure. You're gonna have to give me a roll, because when you grab him and kind of focus your attention on him, you realize that you're looking at a person who is panicking and is terrified.
Okay, cool. So I figure that that's probably like empathize. Like,
Yep, absolutely.
am I trying to empathize or am I trying to? Yeah, I see the panic. I would like to believe that I would empathize with that panic, but I think really what I'm trying to do is more like lead, unfortunately.
Sure, up to you.
Yeah, I'll go with lead. We'll go with lead.
Sure.
And we'll.
Yep.
Empathy is part of leadership, but ultimately I'm trying to get him to do something.
Yeah.
2 successes, baby. What?
2? Oh, okay. So not only will you be able to get through to him and calm Mr. Watcher down, but you can also, the bonus effects for lead are healing conditions. So you can heal your own condition or heal an additional condition. Now, no one has a condition at this point. So I would say with an extra success, you could, not only are you going to calm him down, but I'd say I will give you the opportunity to declare what else you think, what other effect you think you might be able to instill upon Watcher, or even Harmony, who's sitting next to him.
I think like just that initial getting through to Watcher allows him to sort of snap out of the panic that he's in, and that sort of helps him refocus, and you can like the whole momentum of the van slows down as he just lets off the gas a little bit. And then the secondary effect of like being brought out of that panic is he sort of refocuses almost like his mission parameters for what's going on. Like he clicks back into the idea that actually a lot of the people involved in this party are squishy organics, basically. They're you know what I mean? Like he's not operating on the idea that they're androids that they can all keep up and take the same amount of damage he can. And so it's sort of refocusing his expectations, if that makes sense, or like his focus parameters to make him more kind of less gung-ho, leading them into potential danger, and more aware of the dangers that they're in, so that like should a situation where he could assist pop up, he would be more inclined to look to their safety first. Not necessarily Jeremy's, like any of the kids. Yeah, it's sort of the feeling that I'm.
Yeah, excellent, nice. Yeah, he gonna learn today. Nice. So he, you feel the van resume a much more stable pace, and there is a point where Mr. Watcher, you see the whiteness on his knuckles fades for a bit as he releases his grip, and he turns back to you and he says, "Oh, thanks, kid. Sorry about that. Got a bit singular focused, but no, you're right. We're okay.
Look, I get it. You know, sometimes you get really fixated on something, you get really caught up in it, and like I understand, but look, at this sort of speed, 5 or 10 miles an hour isn't going to make enough of a difference to like the amount of time it takes us to get there. Better to arrive a little later than dead on time.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. That's it, right? Yeah.
Okay. Now, sorry, Watcher. Can you? Is there anything that's giving you any viewpoints on the campground that we're going to? Can you see the others? Harmony just said that they're there, right? Harmony, is that what?
You see, yeah, she turns back and says, they are at the campground. April just asked how we were.
We're on our way. We're pretty close, right? Can you see them, Watcher?
See, Watcher looks out for a while and he's like, yeah, we're pretty close. And there's a moment where he's like, as he says that, he looks out the windscreen. He's like, yeah, okay, shouldn't be too long. And then his eyes go wide and he like slams his foot on the brake and the whole van like, as the front of the van falls over a massive furrow in the ground. Not like gargantuan, but you see the path that you're on. Across the path, you can see like it looks like something has like carved a trench through the path and kind of into the vegetation on either side.
I like, as much as I hate to sort of endanger Jeremy, I do feel like the fact that he's definitely not wearing a safety belt means that I should probably go for some kind of body roll to work out what happened to him with this.
Absolutely. Yep. It's most probably either probably a move.
Yeah, I feel like move is probably like,
or it could be force if you want to endure a physically stressful situation.
I think if we go with move, we can kind of work out how he moves through space in this jolting, functionally collision.
Mm-hmm.
One success, I'll take it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't go flying through the windshield, but you do kind of fold forward on the bench seat and find yourself kind of halfway in the front of the van.
Yeah.
You notice as you fall forward, you stop like millimeters away from the dashboard, and you feel that Harmony has like reached over and grabbed you, and she kind of slides you back.
Okay, thank you, Harmony. That was very close.
It was, but you see her look out the windscreen with Watcher. She's like, I don't like the look of this. She climbs out of the van and has a look, and Watcher gets out as well, and they both head to the front of the van to look at this furrow, this large furrow that's sitting across the path. And it looks like they're from, if you like, unless you go out, Jeremy, you can't quite hear what they're saying. They look like they're kind of looking at it, talking amongst themselves. You can head out if you want.
Yeah, I think Jeremy would probably get out as well, because how often do you see a giant furrow through what was effectively like a packed dirt, but like a road?
Yeah. Yep. You head out. You see now that the furrow itself is one of two. There's another one just a few meters down, and the furrow is deep enough and wide enough that the van won't be able to get through it. But not so deep that you couldn't just hop down and step back up.
Are the furrows running like in parallel?
No.
Or are they in like different?
They're in different. One is, if one was straight, the other one would be on a slight angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Jeremy would have his notebook out.
And you notice, having a quick look, you notice that the vegetation that has been moved by whatever caused these furrows are in two different directions.
So like one heading that way and one heading back the other way, kind of thing.
Yeah. But at that point, Watcher turns to you and just says, looks like we're walking.
I do a lot of walking. I'm okay with walking. A lot harder to crash when you're walking.
All right. And you see, like, they both head over, start walking on the path. Do you follow it? Like, do you want to walk with them, or how are you moving with the others?
I think like Jeremy's probably going to be like a few steps behind them, like very, very aware that at this point in an unknown situation, he's kind of got to rely on them for like, not only are they physically more imposing than he is, but they have access to a wealth more information. So as discomforting as it is, he's kind of reliant on them. So yeah, he'd be following them off to the left 2 paces and back 3 kind of thing. Just keeping track with them.
Yeah. As they walk, you notice that Watcher is constantly head on a swivel. He's scanning like everywhere. He's looking into the trees. He's watching off to the side of the path. And Harmony is very much that kind of born yesterday. You know, she's looking at her hands. She's watching her body as it moves. There are a couple of points where she like scuffs her foot on a rock or something and stumbles, and Watcher catches her. And she like, mainly because she's just so focused on her own, her own self. You see her like touch her face and her hair as she moves. There is a no, you go.
Kind of like seeing someone the first time that they're, partying a little too hard at a rave.
Yeah, right. And they're suddenly seeing themselves through a different filter. Yeah. There is a point, Jeremy, where Watcher keeps kind of walking forward, and you see him look up into the trees and point, and you see Harmony looks up as well. And you realize now that there is a crow, like a raven, that's been flitting from tree to tree following
you. Are the birds working for the bourgeoisie?
Saruman has many spies.
Is there like, Jeremy, like I'd spot the crow. Is there anything that leaps out to me about the crow as interesting, or
more the fact that like it looks like it's paying attention, like it's watching the three of you and following you, like it's jumping from tree to tree.
Well, I mean, I guess my question would be, can it see the shiny metal surfaces on Harmony or Watcher?
Harmony, not so much. Like you found her some clothing that covers her quite well. Watcher, as far as you know, Watcher seems pretty covered as well. Like they look from behind, they look like two people walking through the woods.
Watcher is. Look, I'm asking you because this is kind of your thing, right? Is to watch, to have access to viewpoints. And I realize this is going to sound kind of weird. Can you see through that crow's eyes?
You see, he like stops and looks back at you, and you see that his blue eyes, they flash green, and he's like, I can now.
Oh,
and then they flash back to blue.
Good.
And you see Harmony has like a Disney princess moment where she like holds up her arm and the crow flies down and alights onto her hand.
So the birds are spies. Huh.
You see Harmony walks towards you, Jeremy, and she's like, not all the birds are spies. She's like, not all of them. Some of them are purely organic. This one isn't. And as it like sits there, it like does that thing where it turns its head and looks at you, and you watch its eye do that camera iris, like yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel better, I guess. So do we know if this one was watching us for a reason? Like, was it sent, or is it just part of a sort of, I guess, surveillance network? I'm struggling here, like I'm springboarding, but I don't know what to. Why is Harmony watching us?
She places like her other hand on your shoulder, and she looks at you and she says, "Jeremy, this, I guess this is what the Guardian is."
A crow?
the Guardian is, I guess, part of the ecosystem here. So I'm as much a part of this crow as the crow is a part of me, and Watcher, and Solver, and the rest of us. The Guardian is one thing. It is one being. But just as I can interface with systems around me, the Guardian is part of the mountain. It's part of nature. It's part of what it is. This whole thing up here.
Sorry, one second, Harmony. He starts like flicking back through his notebook. Gets back to a page like a few months ago. He's like, oh God. You mean that senior who is like on something underneath the bleachers down at the field wasn't entirely full of it when he said that everything is interconnected and everything is part of everything else? Is that... I wrote it down because it seems so stupid. He was right? Was he part of the Guardian?
I'm not sure who you are talking about, but he's wrong.
No, okay.
He's not wrong. I mean, you know that myself and Watcher and Solver, we are connected in a way that's, that's broader than just one thing. In terms of, I think it sounds like, from what I gathered, this person is speaking more of an existential, spiritual, human idea of interconnectedness.
Well, I mean, now that there's crows that are part of the network, I mean, and you look like people, I just sort of... It was kind of like changing the way that I was looking at things, I guess, and it seemed as reasonable as anything else, right? I mean, if you can look like adults, surely you could look like teenagers or something, I guess.
You could.
I feel like I'm rambling.
Yes, I mean, Watcher was the first one to be created this way. And then there was me. As far as I am aware, it is just the two of us. That's all. In terms of people, as far as the mountain goes, we were part of the mountain. The mountain was part of us, that kind of whole thing.
Yeah, there's a very sort of like visible relaxation in Jeremy, who's kind of winding himself up a little bit there, getting more and more concerned about whether or not which robots were actually robots.
You see Harmony Harmony walks away from you, but before she does so, she puts the crow on your shoulder, and like heads back towards Mr. Watcher. The crow like hops over onto your shoulder and like looks at you and makes that cool like sound, and kind of like starts like almost like pruning your hair. You reach up.
I sort of like half reach up to like swipe it away, and then just
as you kind of try to duck your head, it does that thing where it hops across your shoulders to the other side.
Very, very uncomfortable with this. Not the vibe.
Getting more and more Sandman by the second.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, this just happens to be a crow in the forest.
Yeah, just wait till I find a really interesting looking helmet and like leather pouch full of stuff.
Yeah, full of
possibly
things.
Sand. Who knows?
Okay, so eventually you keep walking and you start to see the campground in the distance. The rest of you notice that Grinch, his head pops up and he looks over to the side, and you follow his gaze and you see your friends walking towards you.
Whoa, Harmony, you're like a full person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You look great.
Like, oh, thank you. This is a very new sensation.
Yeah. Have you stretched? You should really stretch before you go on like a really big hike, because it'll hurt after.
You see, she's like, okay. I'm not sure what that means.
Do you feel pain?
Can
you?
No, but I guess I am aware if pain is just your body telling you that something is wrong, that something needs to either change or stop. So I have that capability. If I were, she like grabs her thumb and like, she's like, there is a point where I know that if I push this any further, I'll do damage, and I have enough of an understanding not to do that.
That's good.
You should stretch. Probably.
Jeremy sort of whispers, only just loud enough for like the crow to hear. But you know you shouldn't do it. You did it anyway. What? And I guess I'm just wondering whether or not the crow speaks in Patton Oswalt's voice.
Yes, please.
Anyway, you do that thing where as you tilt your head when you ask the question, the crow does the same thing.
Whoa, that's really cool. Jeremy, you have a crow now?
I mean, no, I guess, like, arguably it's a crow, but it's also kind of a robot, like Harmony and Watcher are people. So it looks like a crow, but it's not really a crow. But I guess if we got into, like, the existential difference between the two, we'd be here for a while, and I feel like we got other things to do.
There's a moment where
I've got a crow.
you hear like a low growl from Grinch, who's like staring up at the crow, and the crow looks down and does this like, and then flies down onto the ground, and Grinch is like, scuttles back, and the crow kind of looks at him and starts like, kind of like holding its wings out and kind of dancing around and like, and cawing at Grinch. And eventually, and Grinch isn't quite sure what's going on. There's a point where Grinch looks up at you, Jack, like, what the fuck is this?
I'm with you, Grinch. I'm just as weirded out as you are. But you, Crow, I gotta give it a name, guys. Watcher, does the crow have a name, or do we want to, like, you guys got any ideas for names? Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to go with like the classics.
Oh. Classics.
Sally.
The classics, Sally. Sally the Crow.
Sure.
Crow
April, that was definitely a classic name for a crow or a raven, or any of the other corvids. I was thinking more like memory.
leading Harmony through a bunch of like dance stretches, because I haven't processed that the parts of her body that need stretching are all robotic. She fully doesn't need this. I'm just still.
She is like a dedicated student. She is like watching you, and is
perfect.
You see, Mr. Watcher is like, well, why don't we just call it like Duck, or
Duck,
or
Duck
Bridge.
I don't
just
think you understand what a name.
In your experience, Milton, like from your understanding, do you think that like a cybernetic intelligence could have a sense of humor that would allow for the deep irony in calling a crow duck? Like, is that something that it's capable of? Because I really hope he's kidding. I'm calling a crow duck. Watcher, what are you talking about?
You see, he turns back and he's like, we could call it potato.
Why don't we ask the Robo Crow what they want to be called? Hey. I'll like mimic the crow a little bit while everybody else is stretching. There's like
it like hops over to you.
Oh, hi, I'm gonna get down real low, and so I'm like looking at it. Hello, Robo Crow. Welcome to the team. We're all friends here, and now you're one of our friends too. And we're just trying to figure out what would you like to be called in case we need to like call out to you, or we want to say good morning, or like maybe it's time for lunch or something like that. What would we what's your name?
It's like it kind of looks at you for a moment, and then instead of cawing, it makes the sound of a dial-up modem. Like it does that.
Modem.
Modem.
Sure.
Modem
Yeah,
the
okay.
Robo-Crow.
Modem
Oh, yeah.
the Robo-Crow. Excellent.
Okay, Modem, can you leave Grinch alone? Because Grinch is uncomfortable. Come here, Modem. I sort of like pat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Modem flies up and sits on your shoulder. And yeah,
So, like, where exactly are we going?
Yeah, are we close to where we need to be? Harmony, Mr. Watcher, are we like we're here. Where do we go from here?
Mr. Watcher turns back to you, and he says, well, from what I can tell, we need to head further up the mountain. There is a spot, and you see he like kind of points in a direction. Jack, you know that he's pointing kind of to like the southern side of the mountain. And you like from various kind of excursions and things around the mountain, you know that on the southern side there's a small ridge, like a plateau. Like it's almost like it'd be an amazing like lookout spot, like you can see over the town. But there's no lookout spot that's been established there. There is a Silver Peak lookout that's closer to the peak. But you remember that there was a little hiking group that you had in Scouts that went up that way, and you found a nice little spot.
Okay, so we'll just head in that direction then.
And
we can do that.
We're gonna be Mr. Watcher and Harmony and Modem the Robo-Crow, just so you know, and we were talking about this before you got here, there are bears up here, and so we got to be, we have to talk to them and let them know that we're here, and then they won't bother us, and we don't have any bear spray. And also, if we find any mushrooms, you probably don't want to eat them. Some are edible, but some are not, and they'll make you sick. So just be careful.
Also, if you see any stairs, don't go up the stairs.
Ooh, good advice. Stairs. What kind of stairs?
But Jeremy looks over at Watcher and
Stairs?
goes, Watcher, can you access the Guardian visual network and see whether or not there's any bears on what we should probably take as our path to the plateau, right, Jack? That's where we're going?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Can you see anything there, Watcher? Is there anything we need to worry about?
You see Mr. Watcher looks around for a moment, and then turns back and he's like, I can't quite, not really. And he holds out his hand to Harmony, who finishes up her stretches. And you see him, he reaches out and he says, Harmony, you could help me out? And she's like, of course. She moves over and holds his hand. And the two of them move into a bit of a clearing, and they both kind of kneel down, facing each other, and they hold hands. And you see that Harmony sits and she closes her eyes, and there's a moment where Watcher's eyes flash green again, and you see him look up, just kind of into the sky. And they are they sit there for a while. As they do, Jeremy Modem hops up onto your head and looks around for a bit, and you see he eventually like takes off and flies up into the trees. You kind of lose him in the canopy, and after a few moments of the two of them, of Watcher and Harmony kneeling in the leaves, Modem comes swooping back down and lands on the ground near the two of them, and you see Harmony opens her eyes, and Watcher, the green fades from his eyes, they go back to that blue, and he's like, okay, ooh, well, so yeah, we can. There are a lot of people on the mountain. Looks like a bunch of them are walking around. The Guardian is on the southern side. I can see it, but I can't see it. I think when the three of us were separated from it, like we can't, I can't see through it anymore. I'm not part of it anymore. Harmony managed to find a way to, I guess, track down some more creatures that are part of it, and we kind of piggyback on the back of them, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's as good as I got. It's like, have you ever tried to like look in a fog, like you're trying to see things in a fog, and you know that it's there and you can see shapes, but you can't really see what it is, and like maybe it's a rock, maybe it's a person, you're not sure. It's kind of like that.
Wow, that's really far out.
I remember we had a fall incident, like event like that a few years ago. The lake just poured fog into the town. It got to the point where there was car crashes and stuff. You went out of the house and nobody could see anything.
It was a temperature inversion. I remember that. It was like you could cut it with a knife, is what my dad said.
No, I understand. I understand what you mean, Watcher. Thank you for trying. I appreciate it.
So, Milton, no beers, probably, but also the amount of people on the mountain probably mean that the bears will have stayed away anyway. If there are bears, they won't be around. Yeah,
right, because the race and everything.
Yeah. A lot of people in the mountains. Bears don't really want to hang out, so.
Obviously, there'd be a lot of people on the mountain. It's the hike. It's the festival.
Yeah.
I'm not scared anymore.
Awesome.
But watch out for stairs. I'm just gonna stop walking in a direction.
Stairs.
Is it the right direction?
I don't know.
Hey, April, could you just point south for me? Just point south.
Oh wait, it's like midday. Shit. Because she actually probably would have an idea of it and like look up to see where the sun is, and they'd be like, yeah.
Oh, that's the sun. That hurts.
And then does the wrong thing where she like licks her finger and tries to feel where the wind's blowing and points out.
That's never gonna work.
It's not gonna work. It's never gonna work. But do we let her go? Is that what are we following?
Jack's gonna head in a slightly different direction, confident in where she's going, and then be like, Mr. Watcher, Because our robots look like robots, don't they? To a degree, they hands and faces. Okay, cool. So we're not worried about running into people.
They look like people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So as long as we don't like cut them open, we're good.
Yeah,
awesome.
like
Yes,
Watcher looks like
people parts.
like he looks like the road warrior. You know, he's wearing like tactical pants, boots, he's got like a long kind of jacket over his sweatshirt. You know,
Yeah.
his hands look human and his face looks human. Harmony is wearing like a mishmash of like pajamas and like a windbreaker and has like some sneakers on, and she's wearing like driving gloves.
We probably want to send the crow out ahead. We probably still want to avoid people, because they're not going to know the adults that we're with, and they're going to ask questions.
Or even worse, they recognize Harmony.
Yeah.
And that could be really uncomfortable and awkward.
So, no, totally. Yeah. So can we?
Does anybody know?
Can we send the crow out ahead as like a little scout?
We can.
Mr. Watcher.
Yeah. You see, Harmony at one point. Harmony holds out her hand and she's like, "I think I can help." And Modem flies onto her palm, and you see there's a moment where he looks at Harmony and she like peers down at him, and you see her eyes kind of flicker green and then change back.
Oh, that's so cool.
And the crow like takes off, and you see her turn back. I had a copy of Solver that I've placed into Modem. So now Modem will find the most efficient path to get us where we need to go.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll follow Modem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. We set off.
Hey,
Yeah,
April, just for next time, so you don't get lost sometimes. You know, when I was reading my book about the mushrooms, also I learned, well, I got the book from the school library, first of all, and guess who else checked out the mushroom book?
Who?
Bob Plant.
No.
I swear. Yeah. But what I learned is that you can look at the trunks of trees and you can look for moss growing on them. Yeah. And the moss is going to be growing on the north side of the tree. So if you ever, I'm going to look at the nearest tree. Well, actually there's no moss on this tree, so it's not super helpful right now.
But like, good to know.
Sure. Yeah. It would have been cooler if there was moss in that tree there, but we'll find one. I'll keep looking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, like out of character, genuinely. Is that genuinely a thing? Like, I know that there is some directional thing with moss on trees, but I have never known.
Jeremy, your voice sounds so adult right now, but yes, it is totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really growing up fast, Jeremy.
I think it's kind of one of those like growth spurt things. It seems to like. I remember this happening. This is about the right time for my voice to start dropping a little bit.
I think somebody's going through puberty. Lucky. You're so lucky.
From the 10-year-old.
Who told you about puberty?
What do you mean? I read a lot of books.
Telling you about it?
Oh, gross. No way.
Yeah, I figured it would have been pretty weird if Tiffany was talking to you about it. That's
no. Have you ever
after his conversation with Professor Carter, you know.
Yeah, well, that and also one time I checked out a book from the library another time, and it was written by a great author named Judy Blume. And I learned a lot from that book. It's
okay,
do you know the book I'm talking about?
So good.
Not intimately, but I have heard about it.
I feel like we've had
It was good.
Okay, I'm realizing, Milton, that we've sort of like discussed puberty, but we didn't call it puberty at the time. I should have known that you would know the right terms, and if we'd used the right terms, you would have known what we were talking about. Okay.
It's not going to be long now, and Jeremy will be having hair growing on his face.
Okay, Milton, let's go.
We
set off. We are going.
Milton's so proud of himself.
Yeah, so proud of himself. Yeah. There's one point where Harmony turns to you and she's like, if you did want to actually know the scientific, and like starts listing like basically textbook analysis of like puberty and hormonal changes and stuff before
Harmony, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're so good. Yeah.
No, it makes sense for, you know, for a young person blossoming into adulthood. These things are important to know.
Like a flower.
Blossoming.
So
like a flower.
there's a little beat just as everybody's heading up the track, and Jeremy like stops to like re-knot, like tighten up his boots so that they're as supportive as they can be. And as everybody's moving up the track, as he's tying up his shoelaces, there's like he sighs, and there is just this solitary tear that he like trickles out of his eye and drops off the end of his nose as he like yanks hard on his laces, and stands up and like wipes his face off and sets off up the track behind you guys.
Nice. Okay, so there is after a while you come across there is a walking track, and you're going to have to get across it, and there's a moment where you hear Modem squawk, and Mr. Watcher stops the group of you and peers out from around a tree, and he says, there's some people coming. There are some people on the hiking trail. If you were to walk out now, they would absolutely see you. You do have to get to the other side though. So how will you, if you're choosing to be undetected, how will you go about doing that? Or if you just want to stroll on out, go for it.
Sorry, Watcher, are they walking in the opposite direction to us, or is there going to be like a point of intersection where they go past us? They're gonna go past us. Yeah.
So
they're gonna go past us. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. April.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little kind of like improv thing going on. We're all out in the woods doing, I don't know, like some
hiking.
Hiking.
I love the energy, Jack. But what I was going for, can I look, Jack? I understand that hiking is like your thing, but we're trying to get those people to go past us. Okay, so what I'm thinking is maybe we swing for some of that like Shakespeare kind of thing, or something Shakespearean, so that we can pick up sticks and be like declaiming, so that people are going to think we're a little weird and they'll just keep going. Like we're out in the woods playing around and they're in the woods hiking, so that we can have Watcher and Harmony lying on the ground, maybe like covered in some leaves kind of thing. But we don't have long, so let's...
Okay, that's a great idea, but I will say that I'm like kind of good, so if we did that, they might just stop and like hang out. So maybe, so that we don't get people to like stick around, we just act like we're not doing anything, because then they won't think we're doing anything.
Oh yeah, like casual, like act cash.
Yeah. And then if they do stick around, we're like, surprise, it's audience interaction. And no one wants to do that. So they'll like run away.
Okay. Yeah. No, let's roll with it. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. Give me some rolls. What do you think? What skills do you think will help? Also, like you can help each other out if you think you've got a role that would.
Oh no, I'm following the lead on this one.
Yeah.
Jack's like, you know.
try and
I
do
feel
a,
like I
a
feel like
charm?
yeah, like I was thinking charm as well as sort of what
Yeah.
I was leaning towards.
Yep.
Because that's kind of like it is charm in an almost inverse way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not trying to draw them in, you're trying to like gently and softly push them away.
Nice.
Yes.
And so are Harmony and Watcher just going to lie down on the ground and cover themselves with leaves and twigs?
Effectively, like we're trying to make them as like unnoticed, so they're like off the path. They're like
Like in the trees.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
Sure.
as much like fallen logs under sort of like you know what I mean?
Yep.
Sure.
So there's a point where Watcher and Harmony walk off into kind of just slightly down a like an incline.
Well, because they
And
don't need
very-
to breathe, right? So like
Very
they're not gonna be moving
confusedly
around.
like lie down and start just like dragging leaves and dirt over the top of them. Like,
Look, let's can we help them with this? Like
Grinch starts like digging.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
And yeah,
just like
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yeah, awesome. Sweet. Yeah, they kind of get covered.
And I think I'm gonna wherever the people there because they're coming past us on the track, right? We're trying to get
yeah, they
them to
will
move
come
us.
past. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and stand on like the opposite side of the track to where the robots are hiding, so that when I say hi to people, they will look in the opposite direction, and then just try to like nicely move people past us.
Sure. Okay. Yep. Yeah, April. You clamber out onto their track and start moving across, and like yeah, you look down and you see like there's like 5 or 6 people who blatantly see you, because you are fabulous. So you walk across and park up on the other side. Yeah. What are the rest of you doing? April is across the path from you. Milton, Jack, Jeremy, is there anything you're doing?
I feel like I'm sort of almost inclined to go and like sit just ahead of where not ahead, just past where Harmony and Watcher would have gone off the path, so that like the eye is drawn there, and then doing all of the weird things that the weird kid does to be disconcerting, so that people are less cleaning my nails with my dad's bayonet kind of thing.
Oh my
Sure.
God.
Like
Yeah,
looking in that sort of like that very kind of trying to look tough and intimidating, but actually just coming off as kind of a knob who's doing something that's only likely to hurt himself.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So yeah, give me your rolls. Because Jeremy is using his iconic item, you get another 2 dice to roll.
I'm gonna roll charm, which for me is 8.
Yep.
Hopefully that's enough.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
Would you like to know how many successes I got, Alan?
It looked like quite a celebration. So yes,
5.
Whoa.
you got 5 successes.
I got 5 6s, man. Like I rolled 8 dice.
That's
'cause I was using
Amazing.
my iconic
Love
item. I got 5
That is.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
feeling like
okay.
Oprah. Like I got a
Ultimate
success
success.
for you and a success
Yeah,
for you.
Cool. So obviously you can. Did April get any successes?
I got 2.
Ah, sweet. Okay, so
Nice.
you will absolutely distract these people from noticing Watcher and Harmony, and they will eventually move on. Now, is there anything else you want to buy with your successes? Charm has a bunch of stuff. Basically, it just means I think these people are absolutely going to fall in love with you. So, or you can frighten, confuse, or impress them. So,
I feel like confuse is sort of the vibe with it, where they're
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've got April on one side being her remarkably charming self, and
Yeah.
then we've got the weirdest kid in the village on the other side of the path being deeply disconcerting, and it's the dichotomy that's got them like they're very impressed by April, but who wouldn't be, right? Because April's an incredible performer. She's well known for smashing it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the weird kid muttering disconcertingly at him, like to himself.
Yeah.
While he's
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. Yes, exactly that.
swinging
April,
for Snake Plissken, ending up more like Grimer Wormtongue.
Yeah. Not even Grimer Wormtongue, just very much like at one point your shaggy hair like falls over one eye and you're like, this is my life. Yeah.
I got your picture. I'm coming with you.
Coming with you. And yeah, so all 6 of these people kind of arrive and they are impressed, they are disconcerted, they are weirded out. A number of them are beginning to kind of question their own reality. It's such a weird situation that they find themselves in that they very quickly like pick up their pace to kind of hustle along and get away from you weirdos.
Can I do one thing for using my extra success?
Yes.
Is the like fully let all of this happen, but can I use an extra success to tweak it a little bit that like nobody that was in that group is worried about us? Like it's a weird situation that they don't need to be involved with, but if they were to tell anybody about what they saw, they would be like, but it was fine. These kids are okay.
Yes.
Like I don't want anybody worrying
Kids
about
will be
us
kids.
if they get back to it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. Yeah, brilliant. So they as weirded out as they are, you kind of get the vibe, like you give them the vibe that you're just local kids in the mountains and this is kind of what you do.
Yeah.
I feel like the sort of the energy of it is that kind of feeling of they might have been flagging a little bit on their hike for the festival, but then they saw us and they're like, you know what? Actually, we're going to focus up. We're going to lock in for our hike now. It is time.
Double time.
Get moving.
Let's
go. We're getting competitive now. It is time to get on.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Nice. They move past you and head off further down the track.
Okay, nice. We're good. Just get everybody out.
Watcher, Harmony, you guys good?
You look over and like you have no idea where they are until eventually like a pile of leaves, like a fist, like a thumbs up erupts from the leaves, and they kind of get up and now like they don't really clear everything off. They kind of lightly dust themselves off, but like Harmony has twigs in her hair. And like there's mud smeared on her face, and Watcher is like you can see he has like dirt and leaves in the pockets of his jacket that he just leaves there. He just gets up and he's like, okay, right.
Jack, Martin, you guys good?
Oh yeah, so that was amazing.
It was.
I'm gonna remember that for like next time.
Please.
That was.
Please don't remember me being weirder than I usually am. Please don't do that to me.
You did great.
It worked.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna like have a conversation, but that was so much cooler.
Thank you. Hey, look, I mean, I couldn't have done it without April, really.
Gosh, shucks. Harmony, get over here. I'm just going to start taking all the twigs out of her hair. We should probably get moving.
She's like, oh, thank you. You see her, like she gets, after you take the twigs out, she gets up and looks at you, April. She's like, how do I look? And
you look really nice.
Yeah, like looking at what you see is like a young Meryl Streep. Like she's very, very pretty. Her hair is as dirty and kind of mucky as it is. She looks about, she looks like she's about in her maybe kind of late 20s. The body that was built for her it's like a sprinter's body. It's like really lean. Her clothing is a bit weird, being the mismatchy melange that it is. But yeah, it looks alright.
Yeah, you look really nice. I think that April means that genuinely. Anybody that looks like they're being themselves looks lovely. So you look, this is Harmony, and that's great.
Nice. Excellent. As you say that and kind of head off, April, you feel Harmony like grab your hand and like holds your hand as you walk through the woods. As you get over to the other side of the path and continue along towards that southern point of the mountain, Jack, you hear a whine from Grinch, and Grinch kind of gets close to your leg, and up ahead, you see Modem flies back and starts like squawking, like bah, bah, bah! And there is a slight rumble in the ground, and you see there's a moment where as the rumble kind of rumbles through the ground past you, you see Modem as he was flying kind of loses his rhythm for a bit and eventually rights himself and lands plop on your shoulder, Jeremy. And April, you feel Harmony's grip on your hand kind of like loosen a little bit. And you look over and you see even Mr. Watcher like,
You okay?
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know what that was. And you see like he looks in Harmony's, he's like, I don't know what happened.
Has that ever happened before?
Like an earthquake?
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, Milton, I remember you telling me about something a while ago that you were saying it was really cool. You were saying that it was the nuclear bomb did something like it, like a pulse, some kind of like APN, PME. What was the?
Well, I think what you're talking about, Jeremy, is an EMP, which really stands for electromagnetic pulse. And that can actually damage electronics equipment. And it has been used in, well, I mean, I guess I don't need to go into all the details, but yeah, you're totally right. It could have been an EMP.
That was kind of what I was thinking. Thank you for reminding me there, because it, like, I mean, we all felt it as like a kind of like a pressure wave kind of thing, but it affected like even Modem while he was flying. There was that jitter. I mean, I don't know. Was it something like an EMP kind of thing? Like Watcher, Harmony, have you guys got any? I don't know how it affected you. I just saw that, like, we all saw that it affected you guys in some way that it didn't really affect us.
The ground was shaking too.
Like it shook a little bit, but it didn't affect our brains the way that it seemed to affect them.
Yeah, like sometimes if people can like get ill and like faint and like lose consciousness like momentarily, it doesn't last for a long time, but sometimes that can happen to humans. Do you feel, Watcher and Harmony, that maybe that happened to you, like you lost consciousness for a moment, or did it hurt?
Jack, you look down and it looks like it didn't affect Grinch at all. Like Grinch seems fine. Watcher thinks for a moment, and there was I think it has happened before. I think
at the lab?
Back at the lab. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have a theory. Remember when we were at the lab and Mr. Thompson, or actually it was patient 0, or one of them, I can't remember because that was pretty traumatic and I was really upset after. But anyways, one of them had a device that like caused Watcher to like, oh, stop for a second, something's weird.
Yeah.
Was it like that?
Yeah. There was a moment where I don't know, I just like I got really tired for like half a second.
Okay.
But then it kind of came back.
If one of those devices was amplified, maybe through some sort of radio wave amplification or something like that, it could be affecting a greater area.
Whoa.
But
I don't think you're wrong, Milton, but I'm also just going to really quickly like point out the difference here is that one shut Watcher down as a direct, like, I guess, impact of the energy. Whereas this was spread out over a greater area, but didn't stop him. It was just a momentary, like, slowdown almost.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
So what I'm wondering is whether or not the one that he got hit with in the lab is a refocusing or redirection of the idea to make it more of a weapon or a control system.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because, and I'm spitballing here, but it was the same way that Agent Orange started as like a defoliant and then became a weapon system after they realized that it wasn't actually particularly useful for consumer use. Like it's that idea where you start with a technological development and then you repurpose it for something else. Like maybe that wave is part of the Guardians' defense system, I guess, or a way of like recalibrating or like resetting its network, sort of thing. Like I'm spitballing.
Maybe.
I'm just working with.
Maybe, but maybe it's also like proximity. Like that device was really close to us when it was used against Watcher, and maybe we're far enough away where it has a different effect.
Or it's just they're doing it the same thing but over like a big distance, so it's not as strong.
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
To do it a whole lot, it's like weaker, maybe. But does that mean that other potential problem? Does that mean that there's somebody else? Because that did it come from the direction that we're going in? Right? Yeah, that came from that way. So is there going to be people there trying to stop us? Because that's a problem.
I don't think we're going to know until we get there. But we could go, we could be sneakier. Maybe it'd be a good idea not to just like walk straight up. Maybe we're following the path, but maybe we go off the path for a bit when we arrive, and we go slowly. When we get closer, how far out are we roughly?
You're probably about only a few minutes out, really, at your current pace.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And listen, if you do have to fall over, we can build like one of those little like stretcher things out of like branches and stuff. So we'll just like drag you the rest of the way.
A litter.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I read a book about that too.
We could try. Yeah.
But we should hustle.
Yeah.
Nice. So, everyone, give me sneak rolls.
Oh boy.
To be a sneaky.
Oh, body sneak. Okay. One success.
Okay.
One success.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna use a luck point. Do not have any successes.
Very well. Very well.
One success.
Okay. Okay.
Same. Use the luck point. One success.
One success. All right. All right. Okay. So the group of you managed to stay relatively clandestine as you move through the trees and through the woods. You are also able to guide Watcher and Harmony as well. And After a while, you start to hear voices, human voices, and you come kind of around and over a rise in the hillside, and you see ahead of you through some of the trees a clearing, and there are some very familiar individuals in black suits standing near a tall tower, a metallic tower. It has, one of them is standing next to, looks like they're interfacing with some sort of panel. The top of the tower has, it looks like discs that are attached at various points. And these are the person who is at the screen seems focused on the screen, and there is one other person who is looking kind of out away from you, and the person at the screen, you hear them say, "All right, okay, calibration complete. Let's move on to the next one." And they begin to leave, and as they do, the person who was at the monitor, you see them hit a switch, and there is a moment where the tower like begins humming really loudly, and both Harmony and Watcher, you see them both like and just drop to the ground. Modem as well, kind of like falls off your shoulder, Jeremy, and they hit the deck. As the two individuals, you see them walk out of view further off into the distance. You can hear the humming in this tower, and it looks like both Harmony and Watcher look like someone who has, they look like people who have kind of eaten something. They're a bit like, oh, they look nauseous, and you see them not feeling. They look like a couple of people who are pretty ill. And it is 1:40 p.m. So let's take a break.
Oh,
take a break there.
Oh boy.
And we'll come back and see what happens.
Our robot companions are in a bit of trouble, it would seem. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. Awesome chat tonight. Super appreciate having you all here and hanging out with us, and amazing story. We will be back in just a couple of minutes. Hang out. We'll see you shortly.
Before the break, you had moved your way around the mountain to the spot that that Watcher had told you that the Guardian was present, and you have come across a couple of individuals in black suits setting up some sort of tower. And as they activated the tower before they left, it emitted a very loud humming sound, and it seemed to affect Watcher, Harmony, and Modem. And you now have this tower in front of you that is activated, and looking down, you can see that Harmony is lying on the ground with her eyes closed. It looks like she's grimacing in pain, and Watcher looks like he's trying to get up and crawl his way forward, but it looks quite difficult for him. Modem appears to be doing that, like lying on his side, trying to scrape his beak along the floor like he's itchy or something. What do you all want to do? Jack, you notice that Grinch has gone over to Harmony and is kind of whining and like licking her face.
And they're actively in stress right now. Yeah.
They are. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I think we want to take out the tower.
We have to.
Yeah.
We have to save them.
No. The tower is it? It's making a noise, or is it?
Yeah, it's humming. There's a loud hum.
And you said he was tapping and calibrating, so that would indicate like a screen. Like we could.
There was a panel that he was interfacing with. Yes.
Yeah.
Milton, do you think you could turn it off, like before I pick up a stick and start hitting it?
I don't know, but we have to try. Let's go. Milton's gonna start walking.
Yep, that would be a tech, probably a manipulate roll for you, Milton.
Okay, tech manipulate. All right. This is
good. While Milton's sort of like assessing, like interacting with the panel, that kind of thing, Jeremy's going to kind of just be running his finger along like the cables, if there are any that he can see, to see if he can
Doesn't
work
look
out.
like it. Looks like it's set into the ground or something.
Okay. Are there any like panels that look like they could be like opened or like that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah.
Cool.
You could
So
try and use the bayonet
gonna, like,
to unscrew, or you could.
Well,
like,
that's kind of the vibe, but like Jeremy's just going to be sort of getting ready to do that while Milton takes a pass at doing the less obvious route.
Yep.
You're just keeping an eye on Milton while Milton ponders the panel.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to. Yeah. Go ahead, Jack.
Jack's just going to quickly like call Grinch to it, and then like just not follow the people, but wanting to keep an eye out in case they come back.
Yep. Right on.
All right. Boy, this looks really complicated, guys. I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, Milton, you see a series of keys, like it looks like a keyboard, similar to your computing machine. And on the screen, you can see a readout of numbers and letters. None of it kind of makes any immediate sense. There is an image on the right-hand side. It looks like some sort of pattern. And you can see the patterns have numbers beside them. There is one that is one of the dots that is situated by the number 3 is pulsing. And you can see that the interface itself, when it's where the text is, the text box, you can see it. It says it's been labeled Transmission Tower 3.
Transmission Tower 3, and is it actively creating lines of text as we're standing there, or is there anything?
It is not quickly, not very quickly though. It's like occasionally something will come in. And
does it look familiar?
At a quick glance, no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But if you well, depending on your role, maybe it does.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna do a tech roll. Do you think this would be a tech calculate maybe? Because I'm trying to or tinker.
It could be calculate.
Calculate, yeah.
Calculate or program manipulate.
Program manipulate sounds more of like it. Okay, so let's see. We've got, this is my thing. I can do this. Come on, Milt. You can do this, buddy. Okay, here we go. He's gonna look over at his friends. Okay, I'll try. My hands are sweaty. My hands are really sweaty.
Jack gives a quiet thumbs up.
I'm gonna have to re-roll because I'm gonna have to take a condition, guys. I'm scared. I'm scared for Watcher and Harmony that they're gonna get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I did not get a single success. And I'm rolling a lot of dice.
Yeah, the gravity of the situation, the strange garbled text in front of you, seeing these two people who seemed quite competent and quite strong suddenly fall to their knees. It's all very overwhelming for you, Milton.
Yeah, so I take scared and I reduce by 1 die. Is that correct? Okay.
On your next roll, this one, because you've taken the condition, you get to reroll.
Got it. Okay. Next time. Okay.
Next time.
Shoot, didn't work. Let me try again. Dang it.
So there's
Shoot.
no successes?
No.
No successes.
Not a single success.
So the intense responsibility of the situation just overwhelms Milton, and you can see that there is visible distress on his face. He's furiously typing. You're not even sure what he's typing. Jeremy, you can see that it's not working.
It's not working. Yeah. It's not working.
You jab into a panel, pop it open, and you can see there is. You would imagine there are cables and there is circuitry. You're not sure. Nothing leaps out and says power cable here. But you can, if you're just diving in there.
Jeremy's just going to lean round and check what kind of shoes Milton has on.
Sure. Yep.
Milton, buddy, you look like you need to take a breath. You want to do it? You want to just step back?
Yeah.
Take a couple of breaths. April, can you help Milton for a second?
Yeah.
Away
I was
from
going
the
to put an
keyboard.
arm around Milton and walk him a little ways back.
And then it's just jamming the bayonet into the circuitry and cables and just ratcheting it around.
Yep.
Because I know I've got heavy rubber soles on my boots. I know I am in.
Yeah, sure. You jab it in. You jam that bayonet in there and start kind of just wrenching it back and forth. Panels crack. A couple of the circuit boards pop and a few components fly out. You sever one of the large cables, and there's a huge spark. Not an explosion, but it's a large spark that suddenly your hands are numb for a while, Jeremy, and your bayonet pops and goes kind of flying into the dirt. But after a while, you hear the humming start to die down to more of a and the panel you were working on, Milton, the panel flickers down, and you look over at Harmony and Watcher and Modem, and all three of them at almost the exact same moment kind of
So yeah, as that happens, I kind of not run, but maybe a decently urgent jog over to Modem, leaning down to pick up the bayonet and stick it away back under my coat, and pick up Modem just to, not caring too much about this robot's well-being.
No, of course not.
You want to see whether or not its wings are still able to work, feathers smooth down in the right places.
Yeah, as you pick up Modem, it's weird. Modem, there's a weight to Modem as you pick him up, and I don't know if Jeremy has ever handled ravens or corvids or large birds before.
Not while they're alive.
Not while they're alive, but there's a moment where you see that Modem's small chest is rising and falling. However Modem has been built and designed, he is built to mimic a organic bird. And the feathers, maybe they're synthetic, maybe not, but they feel like the other birds that you've handled. And there's a moment where you suddenly that saying, holding the tender heart of a bird in the palm of your hands, you suddenly realize what all those sappy poems and love songs are about. and there's a moment where you see Modem's eye kind of open up and look at you. And as you're holding Modem close, he sort of like rearranges himself and writes himself up in your hands and like almost nuzzles into your chest for a bit. As Jeremy is doing this, Watcher kind of shakes his head and then moves over to help Harmony stand up.
I've taken Milton off to the side, just kind of like rubbing the sides of his arms a little bit. Being
I
like,
tried my best.
Yeah, I know you did, bud. And hey, sometimes you try your best, and sometimes things get the better of you, and it's okay. You don't need to. That's not your fault. Sometimes people just suck, and they're really good at sucking, and we can be better at being better than them later. I want to try and help calm Milton down with a lead check. Is it yeah?
Absolutely.
Can I do that?
Absolutely. Yes, you can.
Sweet.
Milton's kind of contemplating what you just told him with like a tear, kind of with some tears running down his cheeks from his frustration. Yeah, I guess so.
I'm gonna use a luck point because
Oh, no.
I care a lot about my buddy. But
Our dice have abandoned us. Come on.
I know. We were doing so well at the beginning of this. There we go. That's a success.
Excellent, excellent. So Milton you are healed of that condition. So through the conversation, and after a bit of time, Milton, you no longer feel the kind of, you're not scared anymore, you're not overwhelmed.
Are you guys okay? Is everybody okay?
Everyone's fine now. Right? Everyone's fine?
Yeah.
You see, Watcher like dust himself off. He's like, yeah, I'm okay. Milton, Harmony walks over to you and like crouches down and gives you like a real big hug. And she gives you a big squeeze and basically says, and she just says, hey, thanks for trying. Thank you for trying, Milton.
I really want you to be okay. And Watcher and Modem.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Did anyone see where Jack went?
Yeah, sure. Jack
pops out of the book.
Yeah. So Jack, when you and Grinch were looking, you can see like where some of the vegetation has scuffed, and you gather that those two agents kind of went off in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you couldn't see them.
Cool. Good. And there's no sign of them coming back.
Doesn't look like it. No.
Sweet.
No.
Sweet.
Milton, you gather from what you remember of looking at that screen, you were at Transmission Tower 3. There are six of these, but it looks like only 1, 2, and 3 have been set up, and 4, 5, and 6 were reading as inactive. And between the group of you quickly triangulate that the direction those 2 agents went is probably in the direction of tower number 4.
Oh.
What do we do? What should we do, you guys?
It is not in the direction of the plateau. It's in another direction.
Yeah.
We're here for the Guardian, right? But also, I mean, is there I'm not so good with the programs. I'm better with the building. Is there a way if we put Solver, how broken is the tower? Like, could we plug Solver in? It's still, I can still sort of slightly hear it humming. Does that mean it's still kind of going, or did we I wasn't really looking.
Harmony, you see Harmony goes to the tower. She's like, this one, no, I don't think there's any way this would help. This tower has been rendered unusable, inoperable. There's a good chance that eventually they will figure out that something's happened to it and they'll come back.
Check. Milton tried to do it the smart way, but that didn't work, so I did it the hard way. I just
Nice,
needed
nice.
to shut it down.
Do we should Harmony Watcher, can you tell if the Guardian is here, or do we need to go take down?
No, we're pretty close to the spot that I saw.
Okay.
It's probably just a bit up those ways.
Okay.
Keep going, right?
Keep going? Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll keep moving. Okay.
I think so.
Maybe like reuniting the Guardian can handle the towers. Oh, we'll just do like one thing first, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna head up to the.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
of the group, Jack's heading to the.
Our scout, go for
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, you head off further south. You're a bit lower. You've got to head up to get to the plateau.
Mhm.
Jack, you remember some of the ways up. So it's pretty easy for the group of you to get there. You eventually, yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a scramble here, and like, oh, mind that little bit there, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you push your way through some branches and kind of scrub, and there are a couple of moments where your foot slips on the hillside, and the group of you kind of help each other. At one point, you're all like monkey chained your way up to get up onto a ledge, and eventually you find yourselves up on a shelf, for want of a better term, and you can see now there is a beautiful vista. You can see the lake stretching out into the horizon. You see the shape of Pinehurst. You can just make out the center of town. You can see the sound shell that was created, and every now and then you can hear like snippets of the music kind of bouncing its way up. To your right, you can see the other side of the valley that runs around Silver Peak, and there are a collection of houses out that way. You can see built into the hillside, and further north of those, you see the cooling towers from the research facility, and there is, looking around, you don't see anything that resembles a Guardian, and there is a moment where you hear it before you see it, but you hear the sound of a vehicle engine, and you see a black Buick LeSabre come rise over the trees and head. You're not sure if they're not heading towards you. It looks like they're heading to your left, to the eastern side of where you are, and it's not one but three of them. If they have seen you, they don't seem to be focused on you, but you're not sure if they see you or not. They're a good maybe like 100 meters away.
Okay.
I'm just imagining them flying in like TIE fighter formation.
Yeah, through the valley. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I think April
There's
is
a Buick
still
with
just
doors like that.
I have
Yes.
just like fully like as if caught in headlights, because it's like
Yeah.
we are essentially on a stage in the middle of the forest. Just like,
Yeah.
we have a
Yeah.
problem. No, okay.
Q line.
We're gonna need
there's a
to
moment
probably
where-
step it up a little bit. We're probably gonna need to speed up a little bit. There's 3 of them now.
I mean,
Watcher, Harmony, is there what are we missing that we can't see right now? Because we're here where you guys said we needed to head to. So what's our next move? Like, I'm hoping it's a hidden entrance.
I could set up the computing machine.
There is
of the mountain just
Milton,
sliding out of the way would be
I'm gonna
really cool.
find a rock, set it down. Okay.
So Milton begins setting up the
batteries,
computing machine.
Wires, reach into my pocket, pull out like all the junk that he grabbed off of his desk before they left, and just sets it down. He's like, there's a quarter, paper clip. Yeah. Some wire. He's like doing some tinkering. Okay. We could do this.
Jack will come over and give you a hint.
Thanks, Jack. I think we can make this happen. But we should probably have a plan if it doesn't work. I think it's going to work, though. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. But if it doesn't work, then we should maybe have a plan just in case, right?
Excellent.
Just in case.
So, Milton, what are you attempting to do now with your computing machine?
Well, first I'm going to try to power it up. And so I'm thinking that like with the batteries that we grabbed and some wire, like I can tinker my way into a power source for the computer. Yeah. Okay.
Like a tinker build roll.
Okay. All right. So 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm no longer scared. Yeah. Jack is helping, right?
Yeah.
Jack. Okay. You hand me that right there. Okay. Hold this right here. Now twist those two together. Okay. So tech.
April's just sidled over to Jeremy and is like, if there is a secret door, that would be so cool.
You know, it would genuinely be like the coolest thing ever. Like, I mean, I always figured, I always thought about the racing door at the lab as like kind of our secret door, but like secret doors into the mountain, into Silver Peak. Like, could you imagine how cool that would be? Like, there could be like cave systems. Like, I mean, what if the mountain is like a construct? What if the mountain is something that they've created?
What are they talking about?
I've been here way too long.
I mean, I remember it being here the whole time I can remember, but like, I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
Far out, man.
There's as you're chatting, April and Jeremy, as you're chatting, Jeremy, you're just like, you're riffing on kind of like the creativity is kind of exploding. And April, as you listen to Jeremy talk, you think you remember a time when the group of you were like camping out here, like, but you're like, wait, no, like you haven't been to that campground. But then you're like, oh wait, have we? So like, you remember being at that campground with Jack and Milton and Jeremy, but you also don't, and you're like, wait, did I just see a photo of that and then invent the memory? Like it's hard, you're like, you have this moment where you're like, oh, maybe it is a memory, maybe it isn't, but it probably is. Oh, but it might not be. But then again,
that's why we went there, because we remembered it, but we didn't go there before.
Anyway, Milton, how was your role?
I got one success, thankfully.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, it's working.
So you have found a way to kind of jury rig all these batteries together, and your computing machine fires up and is ready to go.
I'm going to hold up the floppy disk.
Yep.
We have Solver, we have Harmony, and we have Mr. Watcher. He takes the floppy disk and slams it into the computing machine, locks it in place, and hits the escape key.
Yep, nice. So there is a moment where your computer screen like roars to life with all sorts of data and your classic like visual basic like there are ones and zeros and symbols all over the place. You have no idea what it is. And there is a moment where a message pops up that just says, signal established. Proceed, yes, no, and then there's a flickering icon.
Do you want to push it, Jack?
Yeah, if you want me to, I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you should.
I think we should proceed. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Jack pushes it.
Sweet. You hit that. You hit the enter key, and the screen flickers and then goes off. And there's a moment where you see both Watcher and Harmony again do that thing where they both kind of like they don't fall over, but there is a large rumble this time, and like the rumble gets larger and larger, and like to the point where like a small earthquake begins to happen.
We should hit no. We should hit no.
Too late.
Can we hit no?
It's too late.
Click, 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 click. There is a point where you April and Jeremy, you are by Harmony and Watcher. They look like
I've just like grabbed Jeremy's arm so hard.
Yeah. Harmony and Watcher look like they're squinting, like they're trying to muscle their way through a headache. And they're looking down the side of the hill, and you see where the Buicks are headed. And you watch as an entire chunk of the side of the hill begins to lurch up, trees fall down, and there is a hum and a low roar that kind of turns into like as a huge ursine bear-like head lifts itself up as the hillside you're on begins like and chunks of earth and stone fall away from this. The head is like, at least it's like, the head is like the size of like a hot air balloon. It's gigantic, and a chunk of the mountain just begins to get up as you see the guardian of Silver Peak as it gets up, its large eye flashing green, and as it does, you see the three Buicks like turn and begin like heading towards it, and there is as it turns, one of its legs, like a huge chunk of the mountainside, lifts up, and a huge paw like slams two of the Buicks out of the air. As it does, you do notice that you start hearing the sounds of human screams coming from the mountainside, and there is a moment where you see the Guardian turn to the last Buick, and it plants both its feet and opens its mouth and roars, and the roar is like, it's like sonorous and incredible. The roar hits you and knocks all of you off your feet. Harmony and Watcher get knocked back as well. Jeremy, you see that Modem gets hit with the roar and kind of tries to flap his way through it and tries to navigate the air currents that are being washed over the group of you. As it does so, it roars. There is a moment where Watcher gets up onto his feet with a terrified look on his face, and you see he runs to the edge of the shelf, and you see him reach out and say, "No!" And you look, and from the door of the Buick, you see a figure pop out and hold something aloft and press something, and it ignites in a white light, and you see the Guardian is hit by something which causes it to kind of shake its head. And there is a moment where the Buick, as it gets closer, when this light shines and you see the Guardian be affected, both Watcher and Harmony and Modem are all affected and drop to their knees again.
Oh my gosh.
And looking over, you now see that the light intensifies, and the Guardian's eye that was bright green you see begin to like fade from color as it like
No.
it falls onto the side of the mountain. And there is a eruption of dust and dirt and leaves and birds. And eventually the rumble subsides.
What just happened?
Both Watcher and Harmony are just lying on the ground, breathing like.
Milton's gonna run to Watcher and just be like, "No, are you okay? Oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
You see Watcher like looks at you, Milton, looks at you, he's like, "It wasn't you. It wasn't you." Ah! He's like, we have to get out of here.
How do we stop it? What can we do? We're just kids.
And looking down, you see, like Watcher basically turns to you, Milton, because you're there. And he says, they've got something. I think it's Guide. Guide is the one who basically can tell all of us what to do. So we need to stop him. There is a moment where he's grabbing onto you, Milton, and he's like furiously trying to communicate through
Guide.
through gritted teeth. There is a point where Milton, you will see now, Harmony reaches over and grabs Watcher's shoulder, and she holds her hand up, and modem flies down into her hand, and you see her eyes flash green, and then they flash yellow. And when they flash yellow, Watcher herself and modem seem to like and
What?
Harmony turns to the group of you and says, I've essentially blocked ourselves off from whatever connection we had. But we need to get down there to the Guardian. I'm not sure what's happening.
Can you walk? Are you able to get up?
They shakily get up onto their legs. It is Harmony turns. She says, "It is strange. I am isolated.
But you're protected.
Simply because I am cut off. The moment I try to reconnect with anything, this will happen again." She turns to Watcher, and Watcher's like, I can only see what these in front of me are seeing.
There was people down there. We should go help. We gotta stop the thing, right?
We have to do something.
I mean, yeah, we gotta get down there. We can't. I mean,
Okay, let's go.
This is partially our fault that this happened. We got to make this right somehow. I'm gonna start gathering up my computer.
Watcher grabs you, Milton, and he looks at you. He's like, "Hey, Milton, this wasn't your fault. Okay, you saw what they did. It was them. You woke the Guardian up. You and Solver established a connection and let the Guardian know that we were here. You did an amazing thing. You saw what happened."
Yeah. The Guardian is a bear. The Guardian's a huge bear. The Guardian's like the size of King Kong.
Yeah, he sure is. I didn't realize it would be that big, but there it is. Anyway, we should get out of here.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And then Jack will start help dismantling the.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, Watcher helps you as well. April, you look over, and
Mhm.
you can see that Harmony is kind of kneeling and sitting on the ground, looking down towards where the guardian is, and she is like crying. There's tears in her eyes.
Okay. This is a potentially weird swing, but
Go for it.
having had a weird train of thought, April didn't look at all the files in the lab because she was mostly concerned with what Jeremy was going through. And so she doesn't know a lot about all the people that got kidnapped or like went missing.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at Harmony, she wants to see if she can remember who, like, the name of the person that Harmony looks like, because she knows that she hasn't found that out in the last couple of days. And because she had a weird deja vu moment, she's like, do I know that for some reason? And she wants to see if she can work that out. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. There's you look at this, you look at Harmony for a while.
Yeah.
And there is a you remember your dad, actually. You are suddenly struck with a memory of your dad meeting with this person that Harmony is. And you remember that her name was Maria, and she was...
Thank you, Raiders.
Maria was
Appreciate
there
you.
visiting your dad because she was part of a group of journalists who were looking into the town and its relationship with the Loop, and its they wanted to interview some of the people around town.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna lean over to Jeremy with a not quite as perky as April tends to be. She's pretty good at keeping upbeat, but looks over at Jeremy and says, I think something really weird's going on.
April, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but we just watched a giant robo bear erupt out of the side of the mountain. I think we left weird behind like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. We should go. We should go. I'm just gonna get up and try and help Harmony up as well.
Sure. Yeah, you help her up, and she wipes away her tears. And you see, she's like, I am not sure why I am crying.
Harmony
that happens
is,
when you're a person.
as far as I can tell, you are alone for the first time in your, like, we're all here, but you are just you. There is no connection to anything else internally for you right now. I'm not surprised you're upset. You've never had to externally develop those connections. You've always been bound to Watcher and to Solver and to Guide. Was that what you said? Watcher? I think that was the name that... Anyway, you've always had that internal connection to them. And now you're having to do what we do. which is rely on external connection. Welcome to being as close to human as you get, I guess.
An individual. This
It's
is
very quiet. I don't like it. It feels wrong. It feels something is missing.
Well, if
Yeah,
you don't like
and-
the quiet, I'm gonna take my Walkman out of my thing and put it in her jacket pocket and just like put my headphones like around her neck so that she can still hear us. And just put on something, something upbeat.
Yeah. I mean, you've got your mixtape in there, so
Yes,
Yeah.
but I did also record over it with all of Mr. Thompson's confessions.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
We have evidence.
so you replayed Mr. Thompson's confessions.
But let's be honest, I am absolutely sure that April has like at least half a
for
dozen
sure.
tapes and like
Yeah.
a little
bunch of different
wrap on
ones.
the inside of
Yeah.
like her
she's got
vest or
she's got like
whatever.
a fanny pack, like a little bum bag. She's
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
the vision in my head is more like Batman's utility belt, but it's cassette tapes
cassette tapes.
wrapped
Yeah.
around.
Well,
it
that's
and
the
just
thing
flop
is
them
like
out.
you got to take the one you were listening to and put it back in the cassette tape holder. So there's always like at least a couple on you.
A
At
lot
any
of
given time.
shuffling.
Yeah.
Tape
Yeah.
shuffling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet. All right, yeah, you chuck on some tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also like while I'm kind of putting the thing around Harmony's neck. The other thing that has stuck out to April is like, because they've got theoretically organic arm, organic upper section, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also their eyes keep glowing.
Yep.
Is her eyes robotic, or is that? I mean, presumably. But she's also
They're-
wondering if they have like a computer brain or if they have a human brain going on.
Looking as you kind of place the headphones over, you look into Harmony's eyes, and they are organic eyes, but it looks like the fibers that make up the iris are like filaments, and they appear to have a sort of luminescence to them. So they're blue at the moment. They were green and they switched to yellow when she disconnected everyone. And
Hey,
now they're blue again.
Harmony, I know this isn't really necessarily. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe this isn't how it really works. But do you have any of your previous head stuff still in you?
Do you mean
Like
in terms
memories
of
and stuff.
Oh. I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just wondering if you can remember, because all the people that went missing, right? They were people that like those agent guys didn't like. And so if we can work out why they didn't like you, maybe we know what they're going to try and do with the Guardian and like cut him off. I don't know.
I can try.
Yeah, if you don't mind. And I'm gonna very quickly fast forward on the mixtape and play Don't You Forget About Me.
Oh, brilliant. So you hear like the little tinny from like this, you hear the dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if I can help her with that. Of the
Yep.
like, you used to be a journalist, and her name was Maria, and she was looking into something that she wanted to talk to my dad about. I don't know.
Yes, you see it. Harmony's like, I'll try. I'll try and remember. Okay.
As April's doing that, I think Jeremy's going to go over to watch her and sort of collar him a little bit. Who is Guide? What is Guide? Guide is the one that tells you what to do. That's what you said, right? Is Guide subject zero? Is like what? What's the connection here? There's got to be something that ties all of this together. Is someone yanking Guide's leash? I don't. Work with me here.
My purpose was to see things, right? Harmony's purpose is to connect things. Solver's purpose is to finalize things, to bring it to a solution. Guide's purpose is to be the one who gives the direction. So they're the one making the choices and instructing the rest of us, telling me where to look, telling Harmony what to connect to, telling Solver which problems to solve. And it seems like, I don't think that's subject zero. I don't think it is. I think it's whatever they're holding.
Do you have to do what Guide tells you, or can you make your own decisions if you don't like what Guide wants you to do?
I mean, we can make our own decisions, absolutely, now. But when in the lab, when subject zero hit the button, it was like it just made more sense to stop, if you know what I mean. What just happened now, it wasn't like it made more sense to stop. It was like something set my brain on fire.
That sounds like it really hurts. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah. It's I'm not sure what it is. The tower was different. That was similar to what happened in the lab. That was like, it was like someone giving you a suggestion, being like, hey, why don't you sit down? And you're like, yeah, maybe I should sit down. That was from the tower, but whatever just happened there was like, someone, instead of saying, hey, sit down, someone cuts your legs off, so you have no choice.
Like both your legs?
Yeah. Yep. Both of them, same time.
Oh my gosh.
And then when you sit down, you're sitting in like pins, sitting
No.
on thumbtacks. And the thumbtacks are on fire.
Why would somebody do that?
I don't know. I would rather they didn't do it again, though.
Well,
Jeremy kind of leans back. It's a control system, Milt. Like that's what it is. It's to keep things in line. People deal with attack dogs. They've got the electric shock collars on them.
Yeah, but
stop.
But what did the Guardian ever do to to make these people so mad at it? Why are they trying to stop the Guardian from protecting Silver Peak and the people? And like,
I don't know. Maybe the Guardian didn't do anything. Maybe they did something the Guardian didn't like, and they were trying to stop it from stopping them.
Yeah, like those black car people are doing something real naughty.
Yeah.
I think, Milton, unfortunately, I think the danger is that me, Harmony, Solver, and Guide, we've been separated from the Guardian. So it doesn't have those parts of it anymore.
Well, let's get you to the Guardian and let's put the pieces back together again, just like Humpty Dumpty, and we'll see what happens.
I think you might be misremembering that nursery rhyme, buddy.
Wait.
Watcher, you see Watcher, he's like, wait, have you encountered this before? You found fragmented programs before? Some kind of Humpty Dumpty program? What is that?
The Humpty Dumpty protocol.
Is that
It's
well, okay?
you know, Watcher, it's fine. I understand what he's getting at. He got the spirit, but he's just a little confused. Milton, we'll talk about this later, buddy. But like for now, let's.
I'm trying to stay optimistic in light of all of the scary stuff that's going on.
It's been a big day, buddy. I'm with you there. Like reaches out, ruffles Milt's hair a little bit. You got this.
Thanks.
Yep. So yeah, Watcher kind of dust off his coat. It's like, all right, so where are we going?
To the guardian, right?
To the bear.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we do that, I'm not saying we don't do that.
To the bear.
I got a couple of questions before we do, because it feels really weird being the one who's asking the safety questions. But is there some kind of like interface, I guess would be the best word for it, that we could remotely access the bear's brain programming, whatever, that we could like feed you back in? And I only say this, Jack, look, I understand, Jack, in perfect circumstances, I would want to go and hang out with the giant robot bear too. I am with you 100%. I am.
He just broke the mountain.
He did break the mountain. Now, imagine what he could do to us.
Well, remember what April said,
And
Jeremy? April said that we have to talk to the bears and then they won't hurt us. So if we go down there and we talk to the bear, the guardian bear, then maybe that'll work. I mean,
you're right, Milton. You're right. You're 100% right. What I'm asking is whether or not there is an interpreting station that we could go and talk to so that the bears understand us. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, we obviously connected. We did the signal thing just now. We've dismantled the computer, but we've sort of got a station with us. We can just
I mean, I have this. Maybe we could share this. And Milton, from the pile of things, he pulls out a small Baby Ruth candy bar that looks like it's been. It looks like it's been in the wrapper for like 3 weeks. Sat on under the bed for a while. I mean,
I am a little hungry.
I mean, for the bear, and if the bear has like a peanut allergy or something, Jack, then we can split it.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm getting snacky. Okay, I mean, Watcher Harmony, is there we kind of built our own station, so I'm kind of thinking there isn't one. Does the bear have an interface on him that we need to like plug into?
Harmony turns to you and says, if we can get close enough, then I can interface. But as soon as I do, we all are back in we're connected again. So if Guide is still functioning, if that thing is still functioning, we won't be able to.
We got to get the thing off the guide.
We got to get Guide. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Simple, right? We can do this.
Well, it's sort of it. Like, I feel like, I don't know, point Grinch at it and say fetch.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a handheld device. Hey, like it's yeah. I'm like we
they're like,
we just gotta get down there.
Grinch.
We gotta like get it away, and then we're good to go.
Did we see where the cars went? Did they land after that, or
looks like they
fly?
They landed down in the.
You did make it sound like two of them turned into fireballs.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Two of them got obliterated. One of them.
The other one is the one with Guide is the one we're aiming for.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's TIE fighter survived.
Yeah.
I bet they didn't account for the fact that we had a secret weapon, Grinch.
True.
They didn't know.
Sorry, Grinch does that.
How could they know?
Thing like Maximus from Tangled, where he like sits.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also because Grinch is a German Shepherd as well, it's even more like
Cool.
We're good to go. We're gonna go hang out with a bear. A big bear.
And talk to him.
Half a mountain-sized bear. But it's also a robot. Ooh. What a day.
Wait, what time is it? What time is it right now?
Yeah,
are we going to be late for dinner?
Not quite. It's kind of early afternoon, like 2:30.
Oh, okay. I do have to be back for dinner.
Well, it's like it took us a while to get up here, but we'll be faster going down. So
yeah. How do you want to go down? Do you want to climb down? Do you want to stealth down?
I think at this point, just heading down. I don't think.
Yeah, I think just run it.
Yeah.
The bear.
What's up, Vancouver by night? Good to see you.
I feel like attention's being drawn elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see off in the distance. It looks like some emergency services are coming north out of the town, towards the base of the mountain.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you can occasionally hear human voices kind of like yelling and, occasionally screams. Like, something like a big deal happened. Like you
make sure people are okay.
You're not sure if the voices are coming from kind of around the other side of the mountain where the two flaming limousine, like the flaming Buicks smashed.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so you're heading down to Goblin Town. Okay. So you run, slide, slip, stumble, scrabble your way down to the point where you saw the Guardian kind of flop back into the wilderness, and before long, you come kind of bursting through the group of trees and shrubs, and you find yourselves near a large one of the Guardian's like legs, where like it looks at first glance you would swear it was just a hillside with some like gnarly rocks on the side of it, but eventually you realize that what you're seeing is a large paw with huge claws that look like they're made out of like granite, and
Cool.
You can see the from what you can see, it looks just like earth and grass and tree roots and rock, but with the now that you know the overall picture of it, you can see it for what it really is. And as you arrive, you see you kind of are struck by the enormity of it. This paw is huge. It's humongous. And as you land, you hear a sound, and off to the right, you see one of the suited individuals stand up and look directly over at the group of you. And there's a moment where Watcher, who's kind of been a little bit behind you, kind of stumbles out of the trees, like past you, and looks around. He's like, "Oh, we made it," and then looks over at the suited individual, and the suited individual does that creepy thing where like they turn their body and just like start heading towards you. And Watcher's like, and turns around to the group of you, and he's like, "Run!" And like Harmony's like, "Uh-oh." And Grinch is like hackles up, and this is like, this agent is walking towards you now, and
it is absolutely time to start living my Shadow of the Colossus dreams. Guys, our choices right now are: we head back up the mountain, or we climb the bear. And frankly, I vote for climb the bear.
I'm with you.
Sweet. Yep.
Can
There
we
is
see?
a point. Yep.
Do any of these agents have guide on them?
This agent doesn't look like they're not holding anything. They're just walking towards you.
Yeah.
You start climbing the bear. Brilliant.
It's just a hill.
It's just a hill. You start climbing the hill.
My brother in
yeah.
Christ, you have given me a mountain-sized bear. One of two things is going to happen. I'm going to climb it, or it's going to step on me. And those are my only two options.
Yep.
These are great options. I also am a huge Shadow of the Colossus fan. So you start climbing, and you climb up. You clamber up. Harmony climbs relatively easily because she's a fucking robot. And as you start climbing, you hear a sound and look behind you, and you see Watcher just like sprint towards the agent. And as he runs, the agent starts picking up pace, and there's that wonderful Agent Smith Neo Matrix moment where they leap at each other and collide midair. And there's this, it's the sound of like
A car crash?
like it's a sound of a car crash, just like, and you see Watcher like flies off to the side and kind of tumbles, hits a tree, and like smashes the tree into bits. The agent that gets hit also careens off to the side, and you see that they slam into like one of the rocks that's on the side of the Guardian's paw. And as they do, they like hit it, and you can see their arm like break. And Watcher gets up and like kind of dusts the chunks of wood off him and kind of starts running at the agent again. The agent gets up, just completely ignoring their noodle arm, and just runs at Watcher again as the group of you start climbing. There is a point where you can kind of get up and over the top to the top of this paw, and there's still a bit more of climbing that you'll need to do. And you can hear again more collisions, and you can hear the sound of Watcher kind of like, and occasionally you hear more wood splinter, you hear more sounds of metal colliding with stone. You can't quite see it anymore. And there is a point where you get onto like a rise, and you can kind of see over the treetops now. And you can see down towards what would be the head of the Guardian. And there is a moment where you see appearing from behind a tree, you see Subject Zero. And they have guide in their hands, and they're a good they're a good 200 meters away from you. This thing is huge. And they look like they're kind of looking at the head of the Guardian, and there is you hear another sound, and you look over towards the lake, and you see coming across the lake now large, like magnetrine flying vehicles, just like heading in your direction. There's about 4 or 5 of them. They look like they're they have large mechanical, looks like wheels or winches on the side of them, and they are bearing down on the group of you. And that is where we will finish today's
Oh my
episode.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel like we're in super duper extended trouble right now.
Oh,
And we're probably going to be late for dinner.
Like the bear
Oh
could
my
drop
God.
us off.
That's true. We just got to fix the bear.
Yeah.
Fix the bear.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll
Fix
be
the
fine.
bear, drop us home.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
good.
Nice. So you
What an-
are atop a dormant Guardian. Watcher is fighting one of the agents down on the ground. You see Subject Zero with guide. There are large flying vehicles headed your way.
Oh no.
Who knows what will happen in our final episode?
What an epic session, you guys.
That was awesome.
I did not see that coming. Like in
Well
the
done,
slightest.
everyone.
Amazing. I was stunned for a good 10 minutes because
Yeah.
Allan has managed to create a culmination of his career highlights so that he can play it in the film.
Oh, wow. So many Easter eggs.
Like genuinely in my head going, cool, Monsterverse, kaijus, Pacific Rim, it's a robot, Shadow of the Colossus, because obviously I'm climbing that thing.
You start seeing
All
glowing
the
like
hits.
handholds and little.
I was lost considering my grip strength because there's also like a little bit of like some of the later Zelda games in there a little
You
bit.
have the little bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
Eat some
god.
more food to refill the circle.
Epic
you
cliffhanger.
guys.
Do we have to wait a week?
Guys.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I liked the way we began the session wondering if we were gonna go under the mountain, and like we're not on, we are riding the mountain. The mountain's moving.
The
mountain's leaving.
Yeah. When
It was us just hoping for a secret door.
The foreshadowing of the guardian is in the mountain.
A secret earth sign.
I think you said the guardian is in the mountain, and yes, the guardian was in the mountain. Was the mountain?
Is in the mountain. We should have. I didn't click. Should have clicked. Didn't click.
So good.
Oh
So good. Oh my gosh.
I was
Well,
like,
thank
in the
you
mountain
so
range,
much,
yeah,
you guys.
totally.
Jeez, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. All right. Well, that all happened. That just happened.
Yep.
It did just happen.
Yep.
I want it to happen again right now, but we have to go.
That sweet, sweet juice. Hey, everybody, thank you so much. What a great session. Allan, fantastic setting all this up and all the reveals and, all the Easter eggs and all the wonderful role play from this table is very inspiring. Thanks to the chat for hanging out with us and being silly and goofy. And thanks for the raids from some new friends that dropped by. Thank you, Paladins Archives. And thanks for all the follows. And we had some hype trains. I mean, we had a little bit of everything tonight, and we appreciate you all for that. Let's go around the table and let's remind people who you all are, because you are all amazing people. And let's go ahead and start with April, Ruby April.
Hello. I am Ruby. I'm shell shocked from this episode, so I'm not as ready to pitch myself. But hey, I do this a bit. There's links to the stuff that I do hanging around, but I'm just having an absolute blast with this, and I'm so excited for next week to see how it all wraps up. And it's been super cool having so many people hanging out in chat as well and getting to watch everybody else's reactions and theories and incredible stuff. So I'm super keen to go back and wonderful. And I'll pass off to Josh.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. I've been Jeremy this session. It's been an absolute blast getting to see where we've got to. I'm super excited to keep climbing this bear and see what madness, what chaos we can get into next week. That's just pretty much all I got, really. I'm going to pass it off to Emily. Like, what else can I say other than it's been madness? We're climbing a gigantic mountain-sized robot bear. My kaiju heart is so full right now. Yeah, I'll pass it off to Emily.
I'm Emily. I played Jack this session. My animal-loving heart is also just exploding into tiny little pieces. I, much the same as everyone else, so little to say in my outro because I'm just going to spend the next 2 hours trying to figure out what just happened. And I want to continue immediately. Gonna have to wait a whole week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and I will pass. Well, does Dave or Allan want this? Who wants it?
Allan, go ahead, please.
Go, Allan.
Sure. Yes. Hi, I'm Allan Henry. I'm a thoroughly strange person. Yes, I love kaiju because I play a kaiju in some of the films. I was King Kong in the Monsterverse films. I was also the Cocaine Bear. I have always had a huge fondness for bears, long before I did the Cocaine Bear. But I love this adventure. It's been an absolute blast. I have such a great time playing this game with my friends. You are all such wonderful, wonderful creative people. I love this game. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next time. Because, I mean, I have some ideas, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen when you all get your hands on it? So I can't wait. Thank you again for joining me on the table. Thank you, Dave and Guild Superior, for letting this happen. What a time to be alive.
Indeed.
I'll pass it to you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very fun. I love playing with you all, and I hope that there'll be more games in the future. We were talking a little bit before the stream, so I think there will be. Spoiler alert, but yes, just a wonderful pleasure to play this game. Thank you for bringing this to Guild Superior and sharing all this creativity. This is wonderful. I absolutely am having a blast, and I don't want it to end. But I am curious to find out like how it all will, how we're gonna make it come together. Just this has been epic. This particular session was off the hook. Yeah, excellent.
It was bitchin'.
It was bitchin'. Yeah, it really was.
Next session is when we find out that there's another monster on the north side of the mountain that we get to control.
Yes. Here we go.
Kaiju fight.
Here we go. Yes.
Or it rises up out of the lake. Yeah, rises up out of the lake. We're sitting in between the ears. We're looking out over the lake, and up comes Yep.
And it's very legally distinct from Godzilla.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. There's no. Yeah.
It's made of rocks and trees and stuff.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Very different. Very different vibe. Yeah.
I'm expecting a whole crystal section because it's part of it. There's rocks, mountains,
and
minerals.
Look, none of these animals will be using any illicit drugs, so we can steer clear of any sort of infringement on that side. I mean, it's fine. We've got this. Yeah. We have got this. Yeah. You guys, thank you so much. We are gonna raid into our friends at Czech Republic. Before we do, just want to remind people that we're taking a couple of days off next week for the Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S. And so we won't be here on Tuesday. We will be back here on Saturday next week to play this game again. And then starting in December, on Tuesdays in December, we'll be playing Mothership. So stop by for that starting on the 3rd of December. It's going to be fun. And it's loosely based on the Die Hard movie, the original Die Hard, which is a holiday classic. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being here. We will see you next time. Be safe and be well. Talk to you soon.